got a zombie army, and you can't harm me. Yeah, hoodoo, bitch. Drink blood like a vampire without warning. Hoodoo, bitch. Stand up. Sam B got the thing that go bump in the night. Whoa, hoodoo, bitch. Hide your kids, grab your wife, better get out of sight. Hoodoo, bitch. Let's go.
What's up, guys? This is Trinkill, and welcome back to my character build guides for the lovely game Dead Island. The first thing you're probably going to notice is that it sounds like somebody has punched me in the esophagus. I've got a cold, but I really wanted to get this video out this weekend, and figure I'm going to try to power through it. Hopefully it's not all that annoying. The character build guide we're going to be putting together today is for my main man, Logan, representing for the whiteys. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, Logan is the throwing expert of the game, and you're going to notice one thing about him just based on his stats right here. He's got 80 stamina, which is the lowest among all four characters, and it's not really going to matter all that much, which is probably why I think they gave him the low stamina. You're going to be throwing most of your weapons, and also there's a talent we're going to be taking early on that gives you that stamina boost that you really need to put you back where everybody else is. So, as far as that's concerned, I wouldn't worry about that too much. But as for Logan, he's kind of like Perna was. If you watched my Perna build, he's terrible in Act 1 and Act 2, but Act 3 he really starts to shine, and Act 4 and beyond into New Game Pluses and all the way to 50, he's probably the most fun character to play. And you'll start to see as we're putting the build together why he becomes really fun to play. Now, each character has their role. I think Logan, whereas Perna's like the healer, you got Sam B, who's the tank, Jean May, who's the damage, the DPS type person. Logan's the more crowd control, AoE, area of effect type guy. And that really starts to shine in the late 20s. And you're going to see as we're putting the build together why that happens. But I just think he's really fun to play once you get later on in the game, and I think you guys will agree with me once you try him out. So as always, we're going to start at Chapter 18. That puts us at level 32, giving us 31 points to put together a build. And as always, that should give us plenty of time to really show you how his build starts to make sense. Once you get beyond 32, even really 34, 35 is where he's pretty much done, and you can do whatever you want with the last 15, 14 points, however many there's left. And, you know, that allows you to kind of make it, you know, make your character how you want him. You can go back and pick up some of the stuff that I may have skipped, or, you know, maybe you want something that I didn't. Go back with your extra points towards the end because you've got plenty of them. So, as always, I'm going to take my Fury move first. His Fury move is second only to Perna's, and it's only second to Perna's because Perna's heals you and gives you stamina back. His does a shit ton of damage from a distance, and when you get down to Dead Eye Bullseye, you hit 4 enemies with one thrown weapon when you're using your Fury move, and it does an insane amount of damage. You can easily drop, I would say, 20-25 zombies in one Fury move with Logan, and still have probably time left over to continue throwing. It's probably offensively the best move. Anyway, that's where we stop there. In our Perna build, we continued in Fury a little bit. In our Jean May, we went back to combat. But in Logan, we're going to start in survival. This is where his build really starts to shine. And we're going to grab Boomerang. Now, Boomerang is probably his most important talent. When you get down to the bottom here, you're going to have a 50% chance to retrieve instantly every thrown weapon. And that starts to be really, really beneficial, especially when you get some modded weapons later on in the game. It's really cool. Anyway, moving on to Tier 2, we've got Drunken Master, Efficiency, and Deeper Pockets. Oops. Now, Drunken Master increases your damage while you're drunk. So if you grab a bottle of alcohol, equip it to a main slot, take a swig, you're going to have a 60% damage boost. While that's great, you might want to wait to take that till, you know, towards the end, like I was saying. Efficiency lowers your upgrade costs. Who cares about that? It's just money. It comes in an infinite supply with all the suitcases and shit that are around the game. And you got Deeper Pockets. Obviously, I'm going to grab Deeper Pockets. You're going to be throwing all your weapons, so the more slots that you have to carry weapons around, the better. Moving on to Tier 3, we've got Picklock, Conditioning, and Scavenger. Picklock, as always, I don't think is that needed. Really, you can go through the game zero problem without finding any of the legendary, the orange-type weapons. Scavenger, this is a weird talent. It doesn't explain itself very well. Chance to find weapons in great condition. That doesn't mean a better weapon. That means that when you loot it, you have a higher percent chance of finding it with 100% durability. So that's wasted. That's useless. And conditioning. Here's that stamina talent I was telling you about earlier that kind of makes him more like the other characters. We're going to grab this. That turns his 80 stamina into 104. So that puts him back up to Jean May level, which is really needed in this game. Or in this game when you're playing with Logan, I guess. And then we're going to grab Reliable Boomerang. Now, this gives you a 30% chance to retrieve your thrown weapons. So 1 in 3, basically, weapons that you throw is going to bounce back. With this talent here, I think my record of retrieving the same weapon over and over again is about 4 or 5, maybe 6. I didn't count them as I was going through, but it'll be good to you at times, and other times you'll be like, Jesus, was this thing ever going to proc? So I stop here because there's no need to really push through to the 50% talent this early, because if you do, you're missing out on a lot of his damage talents from the combat tree. So at this point, I come back and I grab Heavy Hitter. This gives you his face smash thing with blunt weapons, which is always sweet. Then you've got Kicker, Fencer, and Mass Driver. Kicker boosts your kicks, Fencer boosts your one-handed weapon damage, and Mass Driver boosts your throwing range. What are we going to take for the throwing expert? The throwing talent. So this is increasing his throwing range by 7.5 meters, and you'd be surprised as to how far that actually is in-game. You're going to be able to throw things way further than most other characters. So this is really beneficial early on. Then we've got Flow, Frenzy, and Maintenance. Flow is going to decrease your stamina cost with one-handed weapons. Again, you don't really need to be swinging weapons. Maintenance is going to increase your weapon durability. Again, all that's doing is saving you money. And Frenzy, a kill increases damage for 5 seconds. So you're meaning when I kill something, I get a 30% damage boost for 5 seconds? Hell yeah, that's awesome. So we're going to grab Frenzy. Then we're going to come down, and obviously we have to grab Sharp Apprentice. Now, at this point, you could start to go back over here and get down to your Righteous Boomerang if you just can't stand the fact that you don't have enough Boomerang percentage. I think that's still wasting some of his power, because we get into Mighty Throw, Aim Shots, and Way of the Warrior. Excuse me, I almost choked. Mighty Throw increases the damage while throwing, a 30% damage boost. Well, all you're going to be doing is throwing, so yes, we're going to grab Mighty Throw. Aim Shots, firearms damage, you shouldn't be shooting, you should be throwing. Way of the Warrior, critical hit chance with one-handed weapons, again, you should be throwing. They're making it really easy on us because we get to pick all the throwing talents. Then we come down to this tier. Now, this tier is very interesting. We're going to end up taking 2 out of these 3 talents, and at the end of the game, you could come back and make an argument for the third. So we're going to grab Telling Blows and Economical Throw. I take Telling Blows first because, again, another 30% chance increase. This is for critical hit, and that is going to really, you're going to be around the early 20s, mid-20s when you're finished grabbing Telling Blows, and it really starts to shine here because he's doing a ton of damage. Then we're going to grab Economical Throw. This is where it gets really interesting. Now, if you read Economical Throw, hitting an enemy with thrown weapons inflicts damage to nearby enemies, to 30%. So if you do 1,000 damage to one zombie, the enemies around him in a group are going to take 300 damage as well. That is not all. If you hit a zombie with a weapon that's modded, so say you got a machete with Old Smoky on it, and you toss it at a zombie, and he starts to, well, it doesn't really matter if he gets electrocuted or not. All the zombies that take damage around him also have a chance of, 1, being critical, 2, getting electrocuted. So this is really where his crowd control I spoke about earlier starts to come into play, because you can throw a blade at a crowd of 5 zombies, and 3 or 4 of them can be electrocuted and just stand there stunned. So it is really cool to watch an entire room of zombies start frying, and it's just really satisfying. So at this point, you can grab Firearms Apprentice, but I think it's more important to head over to the survival tree and start getting down to your Righteous Boomerang. So at this point, we're level 27-ish, 26, something like that. I haven't done the counting or anything. And we're going to come over to the 5th tier of survival. We've got fireproof, custom maintenance, and discipline. Again, this one's really easy. Fire resistance is stupid. How many times do you get burned by fire in this game? Not many. If any, it's by the zombies that are on fire chasing you, and you're going to be throwing shit at them, so they shouldn't get to you anyway. Custom maintenance, again, that's a durability increase. Again, it only saves money. I wouldn't worry about it. If you've got the time, money is in an infinite supply in this game. And discipline, you gain additional health. Why not? 3 extra health bars? Okay. We come down to the final tier here. This one's a little weird. Medicinal purposes doesn't sound like it would be cool. Enables health regeneration while drunk. What this does is level 1, level 2, and level 3 regenerate 1/3, 2/3, and a full health bar just by 1 alcohol. So basically, you don't have to worry about finding energy drinks that are going to do, a 3/4 of a bar every time. You don't have to worry about finding med packs and med kits and doing that kind of stuff because you can drink while you're still fighting. So we're going to grab 2 points in medicinal purposes, not 3. And the reason we're only going to grab 2 is because if we don't put 1 point in reflection, we don't get any knockout chance. And what reflection does gives you a chance to knock out enemies when receiving damage. Now, again, it says works only on equal or lower level enemies. That doesn't matter. The chance to knock out enemies while receiving damage. What that means is if you get smacked in the face by a thug, he has a 10% chance to fall down. And it's hilarious watching a thug beat the shit out of you and then falling on his ass. But it's really neat. So I don't have any points left, but we're going to grab 1 point in reflection. Just 1. Unless you want to put more points into it later, which, again, I would recommend. Then we're going to grab Righteous Boomerang. Then we're going to grab Firearms Apprentice. And then you're done. After that, you can put points in whatever you want to put them in. A few points or a few things that I may recommend. You may want to finish out medicinal purposes, giving you a full heal from 1 bottle of alcohol. You may want to finish out reflection. Again, you've got 2 extra points to put into reflection. You may want to come up and grab your Drunken Master. Increases damage while being drunk if you can tolerate attacking while you're drunk. Coming over to the Fury Tree, you may want to start coming down some path to get to Deadeye Bullseye because, again, it is really deadly later on in the game. Let me look at here. We got Long Shot. That's stupid. Furious Throw, Rage Gain, and Chance to Inflict Bleeding. I would probably go with the Rage Gain. That's going to get you your rage faster. Then grab your True Bullseye. Then we've got Wings of Death, Instant Kill Chance. That's silly. Kills with one-handed weapons, gain rage. That's silly. Decreases the amount of rage required. Bam, I'd grab that. Then I'd come down to Deadeye Bullseye. So you've got faster rage gains if you grab Volatile and Furious Throw. Beyond that, again, this is where I said you could make an argument for Shinobi. Remember I said you could make an argument for the 3rd talent in the combat tree here. You can make an argument for Shinobi, instant kill chance with thrown weapons. You know, that basically means that 1 in 10 zombies you hit with a weapon is going to instant kill them. Now, I cannot be for sure if that works with economical throw, because if it does, then I would say definitely grab it. Because if you're throwing a blade at a zombie and he's got 4 zombies around him, that would mean, if it works with Righteous Throw, that you have a 10% chance on every zombie. So really, you've got a 1 in 2 shot if you've got 5 zombies to kill 1 of them instantly. So that's pretty neat. But that does it for this build, guys. I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoy this build. Again, I think that he is probably post 30, 35 is probably the most fun character to play. And I think you'll agree with me once you get economical throw and you have an old smoky machete. It is amazing. So if I can be of any assistance, leave me a comment, ask me a question, and I'm going to start working on my Sam B guide. So hopefully you guys come back and check that out. And again, thanks for stopping by and hang out with me, guys. See ya.
I got a zombie army, and you can't harm me. Yeah, hoodoo, bitch. Drink blood like a vampire without warning. Hoodoo, bitch. Stand up. Sam B got the thing that go bump in the night. Whoa, hoodoo, bitch. Hide your kids, grab your wife, better get out of sight. Hoodoo,